Peace, love, and light, Libra, and welcome to your reading. Oh, excuse me. My bad. Welcome to your reading. If you're new here, my name is Ty, and I'm super happy to have you. Hopefully, you'll take a look around, like what you see, and hit the subscribe button. If you're returning, thank you so much for joining me again. I truly appreciate all of the love and the support. Hopefully, you've already subscribed to the channel. Libra, if you don't know how this works, it is a general reading. Everything will resonate. Take what resonates, leave what doesn't. Also, keep in mind that the roles are interchangeable. So not everything. So place yourself and everyone else where they belong in your story, okay? As I was meditating on your energy, Libra, I got the sense that you're going through like this real, like a struggle. I don't know. Part of me feels like there's this inner struggle that you're having, like with yourself. It could be something that you want to do. And you're just right now, things are like there are several blocks, and I feel the frustration from that. And so Spirit is saying, that what we resist persists, right? So there's a need for you to take your foot off the gas and relax, because you are going through a transition. And I feel like that things are changing, and you may want things to change, and you may want things, you may want to go in a certain direction, but you can't force things. Allow things to happen naturally, okay? So Spirit is saying that you need to slow down, take a break. Also, be mindful of how you speak to others, and how you communicate with others. Sometimes, least said, soonest mended. I think that's how the saying goes. So sometimes, the less you say, the better, with respect to having conversations to overcome conflict, okay? You don't always have to be right, and you don't always have to have the last word. Sometimes just sharing just a little bit, hey, you made me feel like this, or this situation made me feel like that, and allowing the person to also express their feelings without saying too much in too much of a harsh way also. So yeah, just be mindful of that. But you are going through some sort of transition right now, and it might feel heavy in this moment. Spirit is saying right now you have to get to a place where you can accept that things are as they are. And the only thing that will change, and the only way that you will see that change, is by giving the situation time. So right now, things are happening beneath the surface, but you can't force things. No matter how much we want something to happen for us, everything happens in divine timing and divine order. So Spirit is saying be easy, is basically what Spirit is saying right now, because you are going to come out of this. I know it feels like it may feel heavy, and some of you might be feeling like, God, I can't get a break, like I need a break. I just keep hearing that. And Spirit is like, well, give yourself a break, meaning, take a day off of work. Take some time for yourself, but also learn to sit with silence. Learn to sit with yourself, not to drown out your thoughts and your feelings, because I feel like somebody bottles up their feelings and even your thoughts, right? So when you feel like and this might be for one or two of you, but if you are, and if you find yourself thinking about something, or something that causes you to feel certain emotions, you might be the type of person to put on some headphones and put on music, because you don't even want to be in your head, but you can't get out of your head. So you put on music to try to avoid the thoughts, to try to avoid the situation or the person. It's like you find different things, different ways to escape. There's a lot of escapism. And what Spirit is saying, everywhere you go, there you are, right? So you can't run from yourself. So there's a need for you to sit with those feelings, and sit with those thoughts, and sit with those emotions, and allow yourself to feel them, but then let them go. Okay, so try not to find external things to avoid yourself, okay? And for some of you, that could look like, maybe you can't stay home, or you have trouble like just being in your house and being relaxed, or maybe if you're in your house, you have trouble sitting down and relaxing and just being in silence and being with yourself. So Spirit is really encouraging that, okay? Okay, Spirit, what messages do you have for Libra? Messages for Libra, Sun, Moon, Rising, Venus signs. Messages for Libra for this week. This deck is like rough to shuffle, but this was the one that I was led to grab for you guys. So we're going to make it work. Okay. Messages for Libra this week. What is the energy for Libra? Libra, Sun, Moon, Rising, Venus sign. Yeah. Okay. Five of Cups, disappointment here, you know. It could be also some of you might have been waiting for something, for an offer, you know, maybe somebody else got the promotion, maybe somebody else got the job, maybe you know, there was something that you wanted that you didn't receive. But the Five of Cups is, you know, someone who's at the river of tears, who's disappointed, who's sad, who's grieving some sort of loss. And the Ten of Swords is that we have the Devil card here. Okay, this is heavy here. Okay, a lot of definite Capricorn energy here. With the Devil, you may be dealing with a Capricorn. You may you may have strong Capricorn in your chart. Yeah, the Ten of Swords is like somebody who's feeling like something is over and done with, but they're feeling a little bit stuck or really stuck with the Devil energy here. And again, also that speaks to the escapism that I was talking about. As I say that, the Eight of Cups comes out. So yeah, somebody just trying to find ways to get away from something or someone who they just feel is bringing them down a lot, right? So like just like this heavy, like sad, depressed, stuck energy. The Eight of Cups talks about walking away from things that are not fulfilling you anymore, that are no longer making you happy, that don't feel good anymore. And somebody here, I feel like, yeah, wants to walk away from something, but, ooh, my hair stood up, but is feeling really, really stuck in this situation. I feel like they feel this. I feel like this is you, Libra. You feel really trapped in whatever situation is here, but you're never truly stuck. Okay, remember that limitations are in your mind. We limit ourselves, right? So there's a need to release those limiting beliefs and, you know, just be mindful of, I feel like somebody here feels really overwhelmed, and that's why you need to take a break. Okay, the Eight of Cups says, yeah, it's time for you to leave things that are not making you happy, that are not fulfilling you, because it's taking a toll on you. Ten of Cups, this may be a family dynamic, a family situation, or somebody that you have children with, okay? But there's some sort of disappointment here. Maybe you're going through a breakup. The King of Pentacles. Some of you might be having money issues, and that could be the reason why you're feeling stuck. Or this could, like I said, just be pertaining to a job. Oh, the Queen of Swords fell out. Okay, so we have, you know, you could experience just a lot of discord, you know, miscommunication. The Queen of Swords, I feel like this is your energy. This is very much air energy. Okay, the Queen of Swords is like, I think I said this a little while ago, right? Watch your words, because the Queen of Swords could be like, let her rip, like cut with her tongue. Okay, but yeah, so I feel like there's somebody here is like guarding their heart, guarding themselves, excuse me, and just really, like, I feel like if this is a family dynamic, then there's a lot of arguing going on, or just very, it feels very cold, this energy. It feels very cold. I want to clarify those, but I'm going to pull one more, and I don't want this to be too long. Okay. Yeah, the Seven of Swords. So somebody wants to head for the hill, or head for the hills, okay? Somebody wants to make a run for it. There could be, excuse me, guys, I'm sorry if you heard my very harsh slurp. I'm sorry, but my throat is like dry. Yeah, I feel like somebody's really looking at, like, oh my gosh, like if you see her face, she looks a little bit like disappointed, and it's like she's guarding herself with like what she's committed to. Okay, so it's kind of like like, is it worth it? Is it worth it for me to stay in this situation and continue to pour into this when I don't feel like I'm getting what I need in return? And I say that because of the Eight of Cups. Okay, so I do feel like somebody here is just feeling like this, like they're pouring more into a situation than they're getting out of it. I feel like emotionally that might be the thing. With the Devil and the Seven of Swords here, I also feel like somebody might be keeping secrets. It could be that somebody, you know, the Seven of Swords is somebody who can be deceptive and could lie. So it could be, this could be your energy. This could be the person that you're dealing with. For those of you who this is a situation regarding work, just be very careful, because I feel like you might find yourself having to defend yourself, having to defend the truth, because maybe, you know, somebody lied about you or somebody manipulated you. Yeah. Five of Pentacles, this talks about loss. So somebody is either experiencing a financial setback, a financial loss, or this could be the losses of relationship. And very rare do I hear this, but the loss of a loved one. Some of you may have recently lost a loved one, because the Five of Cups is a very, again, sad energy, someone who's depressed. This is very heavy here. Somebody's feeling really down, and just like, even if you are in a relationship, you could feel like you're in that relationship by yourself. I feel like for those of you who are in this relationship still there, it could be because you're having, you know, you're just not financially in the space where you can make the move right now. For those of you who this is pertaining to work, I really do, you know, make sure that you are being clear with your work. Like, don't try to leave work early, don't try to beat the clock, don't, you know, that whole stealing time from work. Just be very careful, because the Queen of Swords here, the way that she's looking at this Seven of Swords is like, this Seven of Swords is heading for the hills, and she's running right into the Queen of Swords, which is like, if you're trying to do something sneaky, somebody's going to get caught, somebody's going to be exposed, and then you're going to have to answer for yourself. This could be you, this could be the person that you're dealing with, or again, some situation at work. Okay, it could be you, it could be a coworker or somebody else. But there, I feel like with that energy, there's, and the Five of Pentacles here, this is like, you know, getting caught and having to answer for yourself. Okay, tell me about the Devil here for Libra. Clarify the Devil. I don't want this to be too long. Thank you. The King of Wands. Yeah, so we may have somebody here who, the King of Wands is usually, for me, is somebody who's in a relationship. King or Queen of Wands, especially when it's clarifying the devil, is somebody who's in a relationship and is still wants to be outside, still wants to, maybe wants to be single, but they are committed. They are in a relationship, especially clarifying the Devil. The Four of Swords comes after the Three of Swords, which tells me there could have been a third party situation, or there could be some cheating or lying, just something going on here. One more for the King of Wands with the Devil here for Libra. Clarify the King of Wands with the Devil. Whoop. Clarify the King of Wands with the Devil. Oh, we got the Five of Swords. When I see this, lots of sneaky behavior going on, wanting to have your cake and eat it too, wanting to win at all cost, right? Not really paying attention to the consequences of your actions, or the consequences that you can cause others by your actions. So if this is somebody that you're dealing with, I do feel like, again, there is a lot of just like combative energy, selfishness is what I'm picking up. The Five of Pentacles fell out again. It fell out in the reverse. So I feel like, again, somebody's feeling really isolated, but Libra, the priestess in me wants to be like, Libra, you need a cleaning, like take a spiritual bath, hunty, all of that jazz, sage yourself, but just be careful with the energies around you. I also get the sense like, don't allow anybody to influence you, you know, to doing something that you don't want to do. Yeah, wow. Because I just feel like somebody gets caught here. I feel like somebody gets caught. Tell me about the Five of Cups for Libra. Oh gosh. The Ace of Wands. So it could be news that you guys, received, that somebody was being dishonest. Look, oh my gosh. News. So there's some sort of communication with the Three of Swords that leads to the disappointment. So either you find out that somebody's being dishonest with you, or something happened. For some of you, again, this is a situation at work where something happens and some sort of news comes in and you experience some sort of loss or disappointment. Here, for those of you who this is regarding a relationship, this is almost like, the truth coming to light kind of things, right? That you hear, you get a message, or somebody receives a message. Somebody was caught, somebody was seen doing something that they weren't supposed to be doing. But this is very, and this causes a huge fight, a huge argument. The Five of Wands, is fighting. I mean, look at these people. They're in here and it's like Royal Rumble. There's a full-on brawl. And so, what is the advice here? This is, what is the advice? Be clear about your expectations. Be honest, okay, in how you move and how you work, and in all that you do, move with honesty and integrity. Because I do feel like either you're dealing with somebody who's immature, or maybe even dealing with somebody who's younger than you, but somebody here has to give account. So the advice here is make sure that your T's are crossed and your I's are dotted, and that all your stuff is aligned properly. Okay, make sure that all your work is done, that things are, that you're being thorough in whatever it is that you're doing here. The Two of Cups at the bottom of the deck, is, in this situation, I'm feeling like this is like, make sure that whatever it is that you have going on with respect to the person or work, that you are being loyal and honest and fair. Okay. I'm just gonna pull one more here. The Knight of Cups. So the Knight of Cups is also, like, makes promises they can't keep. So I feel like make sure that the Sun says, something's coming to light. Okay, so just make sure, again, that you are not saying one thing and doing another, or that somebody else is not saying one thing and doing another in your life. Okay, if you're unhappy in a situation, then take the time out to figure out what it is that you want, and then maybe it's time to start to plan to move yourself out of that situation, because this here, whether it's work or the home space, this here is just very unhealthy. And hopefully this hasn't happened yet. Hopefully you haven't experienced this yet, but it could be just it could turn into something very, very ugly. Okay, where whoever this is, could end up, there could actually be like physical, you could become physical with somebody, like in terms of like aggression and things like that. So just be very careful. Mind your manners, mind your words. And sometimes, as I opened up with the reading, least said, soonest mended. So sometimes being quiet is just the best way to be. For some of you, I hear like sometimes the best thing to do is ignore somebody. The power of silence is golden. I said this earlier in my video too that I posted. It's funny that it's coming up right now, right? There is power in silence, being quiet and letting something die down. Because I feel like this is a situation where one thing, like it's almost like you take a match and you freaking it's like dropping a match in a gasoline station. Okay, so you guys, if this message resonated with you, please leave me a comment down below and tell me how. Give me a like if you enjoyed the reading, and hopefully you'll consider subscribing to the channel. I love you all so much. Sending you loads and loads, Libra, of peace, love, and light.